All right. Dr. Pepper. Hello, coffee man. My mom's got Miss Mary back there. I do not have Miss Mary back here. Moist. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh. Moist. Mmm. Mmm. All right. The Adventures of Wheaton Shaw. Did I do the spreadsheet on Miss Mary? That depends on what you mean by spreadsheet. That has multiple meanings with Mary. Spreadsheet. Today we're going to read stories from Wheaton Shaw's collection. The first story we're going to read is The Infantile Orphan. I was just 2 hours old and snuggled warmly in my bassinet while there was fried chicken, tossed salad, and macaroni and cheese auras emanating from the hospital's cafeteria. When she picked me up as if I were going to pee on her fat little face. In that special moment, my mother whispered something into my cute little pink ears I will never forget. God says I have to love you, but you are the ugliest little maggot I have ever seen. Your father showed up 30 minutes ago and saw your nasty face, pointed at you, and we laughed our asses off with the doctors and nurses. Then he left my ass here, filed for divorce, and had me served while I was telling the nurses to give your ugly ass to the fire department to donate to Toys R Us so they can repackage you as the new collectible for the new Barbie's Ugly Kid collection. Before he left the hospital, he saw me kissing Nurse Joy down the hall, and it's safe to say I will never drive stick again, son. Son, I cannot fake the words I love you at all. You just don't have a face a mother could love, and if by chance there is a God, let him bless your ugly heart after seeing your God-forsaken face. Finally, Luciphine shut her trap long enough for me to watch her leave. As my mother left, she flipped me the middle finger, known as the bird. She held that finger up the entire time as she got smaller and smaller and smaller, as if she was leaving like the sun was setting on my future. And then I slept like a little baby. The end. Yay! The Infantile Orphan by Wheaton Shaw. I was first in line. Let's read this one now, after I have a bite from my cereal. This story is called I Was First in Line, Wheaton Shaw Confessionals. It was the morning of some wild day in 2007. when I took my 10-year-old daughter to Disneyland. I bought the tickets and she tried to race me to the largest ride. So I tripped her and she hit her ugly little face on the ground. I pointed at her and laughed and proceeded to beat her to the ride as the crowd cheered me on because she was being a whiny little bitch. I was first in line and she wanted to get on the ride first, so she copped an attitude with me and I laughed at her some more and she got on the ride. After she got buckled in, I cut her belt buckle at the top while she was too busy being selfish and crying that I was first and she was not. The ride commenced and then we stopped. We were 100 feet in the air. I picked her up and pushed her off the ride. She started to fall, but she grasped onto the rails on the ride. I took my foot and smashed those macaroni fingers, and she couldn't hold on anymore. The crowd did not catch her fall because they knew she deserved it considering her attitude. She died on impact, and once I got safely off the ride, I gave my heartwarming speech. It is so good to see everyone out here enjoying their time. I thank you for your support in just letting her fall and learn her first and final lesson of obedience, albeit my daughter's well deserved demise. I mean, hell, she didn't even tell me she loved me on her way down. How selfish is that? The crowd cheered me on for the rest of the day as they bought me cotton candy and pizza throughout the day. As the sun began to set, I received a phone call and found out that I was able to collect my daughter's life insurance because she was an established YouTube star, mostly known as the little cooter that can't. Apparently, she was being paid so well she was able to somehow get herself insured. I had no idea she was a YouTube star. Must have been her drunken babysitter that helped her out. My day just got better. Moral of the story, kids: if you are about to die, tell them you love them on your way out, especially when you deserve your exit. Shaw! And there's story number 2. Hello, Super Lady. Welcome in. Shart. Shart is nice. That should be a Nightbot command. And now a poster from Wheat Shaw's collection. I can fit 3 jumbo hot dogs in my mouth, or I can fit 1 whole package of small hot dogs in my mouth because I don't have too many teeth. I sure did. It is called facial artwork. Oh, on the edge of failure by Wheaton Shaw. Moist, laughing moist fucking ass off. Nice. Here's another story. This has a small ring of truth to it, though. On the Edge of Failure by Wheaton Shaw. I wake up from my 8-hour nap because the refrigerator is calling my name for a nice cold can of Mountain Dew, and it's almost 1 in the afternoon, and every light in the house is on. I get out of my bed and walk out of my room, as a normal person would, as a normal person without fear would do, to bountiful light emanating from every goddamn room in the house, which I won't have to be on the look for when the bills of doom arrive. I go ahead and turn off the lights one by one, as I won't need them just to open and close the refrigerator door. After I turn the obnoxiously illuminated house back to a dark, cold abyss, I start making my way to the refrigerator without much thought except the fact that my goddamn flatmate will have a bigger power bill than I. As I sing the ha ha song in my head, ha 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 ha, your bill is bigger. I'm gonna make sure of that. Ha 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 ha. As I sing the ha ha song in my head, I open the refrigerator door like a regular person would during the day time. I open the refrigerator door and I hear thunder from another room in the house, and it took me 3 seconds to realize that it wasn't me. Eerie music plays. Scary sounds play like it's a Halloween movie or Carrie, the movie. The haunting music plays. The refrigerator door is still open as I now have my cold can of soda in my hand. A violent fear has come over me, like the tornado sirens in Kansas going off when one is about to be caught off guard. As I panic to leave the area, trying to remain unscathed, unbothered, untethered, and untalked to, I make haste towards my room, and on my way I see a 65-year-old Q-tip approaching the kitchen. I may have been noticed, but I was so obviously trying to avoid my frivolous altercation that may have happened if I had gone just one fucking step closer. Slower, I mean, that it did not warrant a "So, Chip, did you find a new place yet?" "Oh, sure I did. Where did you find?" "Because I'm having a hard time finding a place." "Oh, I'm moving somewhere very close to here." I was able to retreat to my room, avoiding trivial dialogue, so I could enjoy my nice cold treat to myself in my own private room without being asked the same dumb question every day just to try and get me to change my mind about moving out. He is now in the kitchen, making tea in the microwave and pondering his variables for once in his adult life. Meanwhile, I am sitting here in my room enjoying my moment of peace and the fact that I am a success story in the making while drinking through a straw, my tooth decaying delight. So, this story has a ring of truth to it. There was this one morning I got out of bed to get a soda. I always try to avoid my roommate. I can't stand talking to him. He's very obnoxious. He's constantly making noise every hour during the nighttime. So I've been trying to trick him to move out for quite a while. And so I finally came up with a plan to get him to move out. And I told him, well, I'm going to be moving out soon, so you might want to start looking for a place to live if you don't want to pay for the other 2 rooms in the house. So I kind of told him I was moving out, even though I knew I wasn't. And so it got him to start thinking about moving out, and then he did move out. So this story is based on a true event, or multiple events, because it felt like every time I'd go to the kitchen for something, he would try to come out of his room just to try to talk to me. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to this guy. He's annoying. So this story is true. Ooh, I should get out my iced tea chart. My iced tea chart. My iced tea chart is hilarious. It was making fun of him too. Ooh, I have another story as well. I have one more story for today. But first, we're going to take a look at this chart. This how to make tea at all hours of the day chart. have a feeling this was a 2-part worksheet, but I only saw one up on the wall. Maybe it was only a one-piece bathing suit. How to make tea at all hours of the day. It is imperative to not care about others in the house who need to work for a living and time it just right so when they do start to fall asleep that you wake them up every chance you get and then silently laugh to yourself about it when you think you hear them getting absolutely upset because their day is going to be shitty from lack of sleep because they have to work and you do not. In the areas provided below, you can keep track of your tea time for the moments you leave your cup in the microwave and you get off of your schedule due to your own negligence. Today's date, tomorrow's date, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and so forth. You can check mark these times to make sure that you don't go off your schedule. Name of troublemaker, former roommate. Manager of approval, that would be me. Approval date. Signature of victim who is constantly awakened by his shit. This shit for filing purposes only. Step 1. Fill cup with water. Open the microwave and place cup in center of microwave and then slam the door loudly and heat for 30 seconds in each step. Make sure to open the door after it beeps loudly 6 times instead of opening it sooner, there's got to be a part 2. Make sure to open the door after it beeps loudly 6 times instead of opening it sooner, allowing it to be quieter. Get tray of ice cubes out of the freezer because the water in the cup needs some. Go ahead and just let the freezer door loudly slam instead of making sure it gets closed without the slamming noise. Step 2. Open microwave to check the temperature of the water and slam the door again. There is definitely a part 2 to this. There is definitely a second worksheet. It must have fallen on the floor and I must have put it somewhere. I think it might be right here. Oh, yes, I got it. It's right here. Perfect. That was an easy find. Step 3. Get your big cup that you have been using since the 1980s and open the freezer door yet again and slam it real hard. Put tray of ice cubes into the big cup and then open the freezer door again and place the last 3 cubes remaining into the freezer and let it slam real loud again. And now check the cup in the microwave and gently add 1 or 2 tea bags into the water and then slam the microwave again. Step 4. Open the microwave and check the tea. Open the freezer to retrieve the last 3 ice cubes from the first tray and then slam the freezer again. And then place ice cubes into tea and slam the microwave. And then play musical beeping of the numbers until you can get it to microwave for 30 seconds. And then refill tray. And then walk 5 steps over to the freezer, open said freezer, place the tray inside, and let it slam again. No, this is how to make tea in the microwave at all hours of the day. This is when my roommate was being obnoxious. Step 5. Open the microwave to check the temperature. The tea is too hot and too cold, so let's open it and slam the freezer door for the ice cubes, and then open and slam it again to put the tray of leftover cubes back. Step 6. Open the microwave, and it's time to stop playing with the cute little buttons to get yourself to 30 seconds. And the tea-coated unkempt mess all over the inside of the microwave, to finally have 3 sips, followed by 3 loud exhales. You slam the microwave door closed, and you drip the fucking tea on the floor all the way back to your room. You call an icebox without thinking of cleaning it up. It is important to fill up your 1980s cup if that is what you are doing instead. Secret step 6.5. You forget about your cup in the microwave because you finally decided your sleepy slumber is a little more important than trying to be obnoxious in the kitchen. And when you realize you allowed some sort of peace in the house, you get mad at yourself because you are afraid others have taken advantage of the quietness when actually he is using that time to make shit like this. Individually, we are one tea bag. Together, you're the tea bag and I am the victim. Hello, Tark the Shark. Welcome in. Oink oink. I'm almost done with my story time episode. I believe that was the 4th story. I already read this one, so yeah, that was 4. 4 stories out of the way. Moist. I'll probably be live for another 10 or 15 minutes. I have one more story to read. What else can I help you? Mm. Moist. All right. Here's another story. This is a 2-pager. The final act of desperation. This is another story about how I'm desperately trying to escape any and all communication with my roommate. Typebot is nice. No, that roommate moved out in December of 2023. I haven't had a roommate in over a year, which has been nice, but I need to get my other 2 rooms filled ASAP. But I hate people so much, I don't want to live with anybody. Anyways, the final act of desperation. Bum, 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 bum. As the sun rises for the day, the morning noises and the sound effects emanating from the kitchen, I rise from my coffin, needing to release some moisture into the porcelain throne. I walk slowly towards my door, as to not be heard being awake. I carefully open the door just a crack and just enough to see where that chatty Johnny might be lurking so I can avoid being talked to, because I don't want to be talked to every goddamn time I leave my fucking room just to squeeze the lemon. I retreat from the door for a few minutes as my needing to make juice in the porcelain blender increases and my annoyance level of being noticed skyrockets. The level of fear is strong within this one right now as I ponder the variables. I look out my window to the east and I see a parking lot full of cars waiting for me to pee out my window and expose myself. I decide that peeing out my window is not an option, so I canter out my south window where there is a sidewalk and roadway in front of my house. As I debate climbing out this window, risking everything, including being lacerated by the rose bushes outside, just to release my fire hydrant, it dawns on me that I am not 12 anymore, so climbing up my windows would consume a substantial amount of time, and since I am not running away from daddy anymore, I just can't risk breaking a hip at this point of my life. I meet up with myself at my desk, and then I go back to the corner of my closet and part hallway/bedroom door area to slyly dart to my bathroom. I hear the microwave door slam, so I think he is out of view. I slowly open my door as quietly as possible to avoid potential squeakage of said door, and I use the tactic: stop, look, and listen while remaining calm, cool, and collect. And I make haste, but light footed, so I am not heard, to the bathroom, and I see his face above the fridge looking down at the stove. I have to quickly make my right turn into the bathroom before that old giant Q-tip looks up and sees me. I dart into the bathroom, quickly close the door, but stop the door right before it makes a sound. I am figuring out how to latch it without any sound, but I know there will be slight sound, and that's just going to have to be an it is what it is kind of moment. Because I successfully made it without being talked to, I lift up the toilet seat lids, and I look at the bowl because now it has to be a quiet pee. A very quiet pee. I look at the bathtub and I look out the bathroom window, and I have ruled both out as possible options, as as peeable options. I cannot risk turning on the bathtub to clean the yellow, and when I am done, and I cannot risk being out the window because getting on my stepladder makes noise, and also this window's on the east side, facing the restaurant's parking lot full of people waiting to see something special. My bathroom sink is out of the question too because I have a pan under the sink since the pipe leaks into that pan, and I just can't risk pee going into my pan down there at this time. So my toilet is my only option. I aim very carefully around the water, and I just release myself on the inside bowl porcelain part just before the toilet ocean begins, while remaining incredibly quiet. After taking back my Mountain Dew rental to the porcelain movie store, I lower the lids quietly, and I do not flush until later in the day when it is expected that I am mobile and alive. I use hand sanitizer twice on my hands because washing them creates too much noise, and that is not an option, as I am clearly desperate and trying to get through this scene unscathed for my mental and emotional health. I press my ear up against the door, as if I am trying to find a heartbeat in the stomach of my house, and I am having a hard time hearing because my goddamn fan in my bathroom. I remain calm, cool, and collected while deciding what measures I need to take to escape. I finally get the courage to slowly open the door, and as I do, he walks by the area, and I freeze, very still, as I hope I wasn't just noticed, like a 6-year-old almost getting caught climbing under the counter and stealing candy from the top of the refrigerator of at 2 in the morning when they should be asleep. I now know he's in the kitchen somewhere lurking, and so after the scary moment passes, I slowly move out of the bathroom and into the hallway of hell. And as I peer around the corner, I see him walking away from the stove, and then I just run light-footedly to my bedroom and slowly close the door. The victory has been had! I successfully went to the bathroom. As I start to celebrate, I begin to fall into my bed as I begin copying an episode so loud that the birds have left the roof, and I start convulsing and quivering in my bed obnoxiously until my cough dies down and I get myself back to normal status so that I can get online and tell my story to the world. Sure! Now, yes, ketchup is where. I mean, that skeleton is wearing a colostomy bag. It is. Ooh, it is a ketchup bottle. I think he stole that ketchup bottle from Joe. Wait. Oink oink. The final act of desperation. Hello, Taco. Welcome in, Taco. Ketchup is nice. Ketchup is very nice. Taco is very nice too. The final